Hello, once again. I'm Pastor Jeremy Combs, and we're going to pause for a proverb. Let's go. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 8. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. We're talking about trusting in the Lord, and all thy ways acknowledge him. Well, have you ever heard the phrase, an apple a day will keep the doctor away? This is a famous quip. Obviously, not just talking about apples, but about eating right. And the result is going to be good health. And there's a lot of truth to that. You eat right, it's vital to our health. You can exercise all you want, but if you're gorging on bad foods, it's just not going to help you. And yet, how many of us have eaten our apples? We've had our fruits and vegetables, and here we are. We still end up in the doctor's office anyway. Well, that principle is a good principle, but it's not a fail-proof principle. Principles of God's word are not like that. They are fail-proof. If we follow God's wisdom, we trust in God's way and not our own, we receive sustenance and strength. In fact, right here it says it shall be health to thy navel. Now this speaks of, and this is fascinating. If you don't study, you miss these little nuggets. It's in Hebrew means it's the idea of the umbilical cord. And so remember the baby. Why do you have an umbilical cord? It's like the lifeline from the mother to the baby for oxygen, for food. And it's the only way that this baby can be fed. God's word is the vital lifeline for the believer. It's the way we receive life and we are fed. God's word also gives us strength. It says, and then marrow to thy bones. Well, after you get off the old umbilical cord, you still got to do things to keep your bones healthy. And God's word is like a healthy meal, exercising, vitamins. It's essential for the Christian life. So let me say, an apple a day, God's word. Take a bite out of it each day, and it'll keep the devil away from you. Then we go to the next verse, Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 9. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. Honor means to make weighty. Okay, when you go and you pick something up, if it's heavy, you pick it up differently. You don't just use one hand. You don't just lackadaisically bend over. You think, if you don't want to kill your back, bend the legs. Be careful, both hands. This is the idea. We need to honor the Lord with our substance. Story is told about a farmer who came to his pastor and he said, "Pastor, my cow has just given birth to two calves. And I've decided when I sell it, one of those calves, what I make from it, I'm going to give that to the Lord." Well, a few weeks later, the man came to church and the pastor looked at him and he said, "Pastor, I'm so sorry to tell you the Lord's calf died." Sometimes isn't that how we treat the Lord when we give? You know what? If you want to know the Lord's direction in your life, you have to give him not only your heart, but you also have to give him your substance. And it's got to be done fully, freely, and it's got to be done first. Remember, Jesus in the New Testament says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. We need to be not like that farmer who was just going to give God the scraps, the leftovers. He took his share, and the calf that died, it was God's. God deserves the best. When you write your tithe check, when you write your checks out for the week, is your tithe check the first one that you write? Or do you pay all the bills and then see if I have any money left, I'm going to honor God? When you fill out your schedule for the week of time, do you think, okay, I'm going to get the yard mowed, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and then if I have time, I'm going to do something for God? You need to reverse that and honor the Lord. I can remember my dad used to say, you can have things, just don't let things have you. So honor the Lord with your substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. We'll do one more verse, verse number 10. So shall your barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses will burst out with new wine. Here in verse 10, we see a promise from God, and this is reiterated throughout the Bible. We call it the law of sowing and reaping. You give to God, and he'll give you more in return. Martin Luther said it this way: I have held many things in my hands, and I've lost them all. Wow, that's good. But whatever I have placed in God's hands, that I still possess. Think about that. Why does God give us back more? Well, first of all, it's his character. Secondly, it's the way his work continues. One more great quote, Matthew Henry says this: God shall bless thee with an increase of that which is for use, not for show or ornament, for spending and laying out, not for hoarding and laying up. Are you honoring God, both with time in his word and with the money that he's blessed you with? God bless you. We'll see you next time.